Hello, Richard Nongard here with the QuitSuccess.com smoking cessation program. You know, a lot of people ask me, can I be hypnotized? I'd love to quit smoking with hypnosis, but I want to know first, can I be hypnotized? Well, let me assure you, everybody is hypnotized every single day, with or without a hypnotist. Hypnosis is a natural state. It's something we all experience every day. The best example of this is, have you ever watched a TV show or you watched a movie and you were so sucked into it that when somebody was talking to you, you just didn't hear a word they said? That was that same focused state of concentration that we often utilize in hypnosis. Or how about this? Has this ever happened to you? You're watching a TV show or you're watching a movie. I don't know how many of you saw that movie, Marley and Me. Jennifer Aniston and Owen, and they raised a dog, and the dog's name was Marley, and it was a cute but clumsy puppy who got in trouble, and the whole movie was about them raising this dog. And of course, by the time the movie ended, they had 3 kids and a house with a picket fence, and life was good, and they still had this dog. And of course, dogs don't live forever, so here's a spoiler alert. At the end of the movie, Marley and Me, the dog dies. And everybody, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. The women were crying when Marley passed away. The tough construction workers, the macho men who were dragged to the movie with their wife, there were tears streaming down their eyes. The young people in the audience were crying. I had a tear in my eyes, probably more than one. Everybody in the audience responded emotionally. Here's a secret. It was not a dog snuff movie. They didn't really kill a dog in order to make the movie Marley and Me. In fact, there were a number of different dogs that played the role of Marley, and none of those dogs died during the making of that movie. It was not real. It was fiction. Jennifer Aniston and Owen, whatever his name is, they're not really married in real life. They don't really own a dog. None of this movie was real, but yet we all responded emotionally to the creative part of our mind that became involved in the story that was told during the movie. And so hypnosis happens all the time. I don't know if you ever go to the store and buy things, buy products, buy groceries, buy different items. And when you get home today, or if you're at home right now, check out your shelves and check out your cupboard and ask yourself, how many of these things did I purchase as a response to hypnotic advertising suggestion within the advertising? The other day, I woke up a couple weeks ago, true story, and I turned on the TV, and because it was a Sunday morning, there were infomercials on, and so I got sucked into an infomercial for a product called the NutriBullet. And I thought to myself, wow, if this works half as good as the infomercial, I'm going to be a really happy guy. So I actually got in my car and I drove to Bed Bath & Beyond. I got there 5 minutes before they opened. I actually waited for them to open the door. I was the first one in the store. I got my NutriBullet and I went home, and I've been using it ever since. They certainly gave the hypnotic suggestion that when I watched their infomercial, I would take action by buying a NutriBullet. And so hypnosis is in the world around us. Now, sometimes people still say, I want a real test. I want you to try to hypnotize me and see, will it work before I go further with this? Well, let me do a couple of demonstrations here with you that will help you to understand that you can, in fact, be hypnotized. Everybody who can take time to sit back and listen to the content of this program, everybody who can follow directions, everybody who has a desire to succeed at smoking cessation can actually use this program and benefit from the hypnosis that is provided. But let me give you a couple examples of what hypnosis is like. Hypnosis is not being asleep, it's not being zonked, it's not being unconscious, it's not being out of your mind, it's not letting me control you. Hypnosis is just like watching a movie or an infomercial about following a process and having a predictable outcome. Watching Marley movie, it was tears. Watching the infomercial, it was buy the NutriBullet. And here it's to take action and stop smoking. So let me give you since I mentioned movies a minute ago, you probably, when you were a kid, went to the movie theater and you probably had those lemon head candies. You know what I'm talking about? They're hard on the hard candy, and they're lemon on the inside, and they're sugary on the outside. Hold out your hand just like this, right here. Actually, hold out your hand and imagine that I'm taking some of those lemon head candies and putting them in your hand. So in your hand, you're holding some imaginary candy. Now, go ahead and close your eyes. Continue to hold that imaginary candy and take the imaginary candy out of your hand with the other hand and pop them into your mouth. Pop them in your mouth and taste the sugary exterior, the sweet, delicious confectionery sugar around that hard candy as you swish it from one side of the mouth to the other. And it begins to melt, and as it does, the sour, juicy interior of that lemon head candy comes out. Always a very strong lemon flavor. And because we don't have a lot of time here, chop up that imaginary lemon candy, biting into that sour, juicy lemon candy, and chop, 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 chop. Swallow the imaginary candy and open your eyes. Now, what happened to you? Interesting. You most likely salivated. I called this imaginary candy. I never said I was even going to hypnotize you. All I said was I wanted you to imagine that imaginary candy in your mouth. And as soon as I said that sour, juicy, hard lemon candy, and you bit down into it, you could feel that increase in salivation. We produced a physical response, not to real candy, but to imaginary candy. In smoking cessation, it's the same thing. People say, how am I going to overcome withdrawal? Easy. I'm going to give you suggestions to create sensations and experiences when in the past, going cold turkey, you may have experienced withdrawal. Now, some of you might not have salivated. Well, that's okay. You could taste the candy. Or some of you had a different experience and you could feel the weight of the imaginary candy as if it were really there. Different people have different responses, and not everybody responds to everything the same way in hypnosis, which is why in this series there are multiple sessions and multiple suggestions to help you respond to those which you respond best to. Another test to find out a person's hypnotic ability comes from stage hypnosis. If you've ever been to a stage hypnosis show, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but a lot of stage hypnotists use it, so I'm going to try it right here. Take your hands and close them together just like this and hold out your two fingers and stare at a spot directly between those two fingers. Hold those fingers about an inch apart and stare directly at a spot between those two fingers. Now imagine those two fingers are powerful magnets on the ends of those fingers. Those fingers move closer and closer together, being drawn together, closer and closer and closer, moving towards each other, eventually touching. Now, undo your fingers. The majority of you, your fingers came together. Here's what's interesting. Until I said, imagine two powerful magnets, your fingers didn't move together. They only began to move together when your subconscious mind thought about magnets. What do magnets do? They draw in towards each other. And you made the subconscious association, magnets draw together, and your fingers began to come together. Some people quicker, some people slower, but it's amazing how the creative part of our mind can respond to those things. Now here's one more test I want to share with you. It's not really a test because everybody passes it. Different people experience different results at different levels. That's okay. We're not trying to get an extreme response here. I'm simply trying to help you notice something. And so set your hands in your lap and take in a breath, breathe in and breathe out. And let your hands just rest in your lap. As you breathe in and breathe out, with each breath, allow the body to relax. And as you let the body relax, notice anywhere you're carrying tension of the day, you can unclench the jaw, you can relax the shoulders, you can even adjust for comfort if you need to relax a little bit further. But pay attention to those hands in your lap. As your hands rest in your lap, notice how heavy they feel from relaxation. When you simply let those hands relax, they become heavy, and so say to yourself, my hands are heavy, my hands are heavy. And notice a feeling of heaviness in your hands. Now think of the word warmth, warmth like that which might come from the sun, or warmth like that which might simply come from inside of the body. But as you focus on your heavy hands, think of the word warmth and say to yourself, my hands are warm. My hands are warm. My hands are warm. And notice the sensation of warmth on the back of the hands. Notice the feeling of heaviness and warmth. Saying to yourself, my hands are warm and heavy. My hands are warm and heavy. And just notice that for a moment. My hands are warm and heavy. Now go ahead and open your eyes. Open your eyes so you can move your hands and ask yourself this question. At any level, did my hands feel heavier? At any level, did you notice a sensation or a feeling of warmth or even hotness in the hands? I didn't come to the computer and hold your hands down to make them heavier. I didn't adjust the temperature in the room where you are to make it warmer. You created warmth. You created heaviness. And if you can create warmth and heaviness, you can actually create comfort and calm. When other smokers who are trying to quit experience withdrawal, you can create success where others have failed. And I'm going to teach you how to do it with the Quit Success program. The program costs less than a carton of cigarettes. Click the button below. Now that you know you can, in fact, benefit from hypnosis and become a non-smoker today.